Well, how much do you think you have a right to know about your neighbor? Their complete criminal history, perhaps? You might already know that you can search for registered sex offenders online, but you can also search for other crimes as well. All you need is a name or an address. The site can even pull up information on people who were arrested but not convicted. Now, is that a violation of yours or somebody else's privacy? With us now, criminal defense attorney Steve Greenberg, who thinks this website is a good thing, and prosecutor Donald Schweitzer, who says details of criminal records shouldn't be posted on sites like these. Steve, you think it's a good idea. Why?
It's public information, first of all, so you can't keep people from looking at it. But also, people should be able to find out as much as they can about the people that live in their neighborhoods. Now, some of the information you're going to discount, traffic tickets and so forth. But for instance, I was able to look online this morning and I saw that one of my neighbors had a drug conviction. I didn't know that. Will I treat him differently? Maybe, maybe not. Will I treat him differently around my kids? Yes. If the information's available, it can be used helpfully.
Donald, I'm a little surprised that it seems like the roles are reversed here. I would think the prosecution would think that this is okay, and the defense attorneys wouldn't like it so much, but you seem to think there's a problem here. What is it?
John, I actually don't think that this is a problem, but I will say this, is that there's a chance that people could abuse the information. A little too much information in the hands of the wrong people could actually injure people. So there is the danger that this massive amount of information is being dumped out into the public, and people are having to basically hide in the shadows now because they were convicted of maybe a DUI or a traffic ticket. It's going to make our lives a lot harder, within the communities we live in. It didn't used to be this way. Now you can't go in public without somebody knowing how much your house costs, what your job is, how much you get paid by your job, and now whether or not you got a ticket.
Well, this thing that Steve was just talking about, finding out that one of his neighbors has some kind of a drug conviction in his past, doesn't that set up a situation in which people are ripe for going over and I don't know, pounding on somebody who was arrested for something they don't like?
Yeah, and John, I think that people aren't really forgiving in our society. People that have convictions for drugs doesn't mean that they're still using drugs or they haven't gotten their lives put back on track. Unfortunately, there's people out there that are going to pound away every chance they can based on an old record. Some of these records are like 10, 20 years old, and they have really no bearing on a person's moral turpitude, their ability to be upright citizens. Yet there's mean people out there that are going to make this public information as much as they can, put it all over the internet, and it's very harmful.
Yeah, and Steve, what about the notion of, some of these you can pull up arrest records even if some of these people weren't convicted? That seems a little wrong.
That is a little bit problematic because anybody can be arrested for anything, and that's just an accusation. The way I think that it needs to be approached is if someone's going to hold against you the fact that you were arrested but not convicted, that's probably someone you don't want to be dealing with anyway. Just avoid it. But there is the potential for misuse, and I agree that too much information in the hands and the minds of the wrong people is a bad thing. Unfortunately, in today's society, that's the situation we're in.
All right, Steve Greenberg.
You can't downplay it, though, because people's jobs could be affected by this information. Yeah. Somebody could be slandered so badly that nobody wants to purchase anything from or let them have a job.
Steve Greenberg and Donald Schweitzer, thank you both.